Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags, and today I am reviewing The Truth by Underworld Cornhole. Let's go ahead and dive in, break these bags down. Carpet bags, they have that herringbone carpet on them. It's the same carpet you find on the BG Wizard and Sorcerer, the Buffalo Fallout X Fury, the Saviors have it now, the B3 Fallout Fatal and Prime. It's that common, it's the more common of the herringbone material. You know, there's several different types of herringbone materials out there. This is the more common, the more popular one. This is the one I think of when I think of herringbone. 5-speed material. If you watch one of the reviews on those other bags, you know, you'll recall that I could say you can manipulate the material, keep it clean, it'll play faster, rough it up, dirty it up, it'll play slower. So you can kind of manipulate the speeds of this a little bit. But for most conditions, most bags, normal situations, it's about a 5-speed. So 5-speed on the slow side. It's a very forgiving, very player-friendly material, which is what's making it very popular. You're seeing the material a ton because of all the things you can do with it and how forgiving it is. And I'll get more into that in the playability here. But 5-speed on the slow side. Fast side. This is that same material you find on the BG Shapeshifter, Samurai, Sorcerer. I think BG was the first one. I think the Shapeshifter was the first bag to come out with this material on it. It is very fast. I call it about a 9.5. I've gone around between 9s to 10s. I think 9.5 is a good number for it. It's just, once you get to those fast speeds, it's really hard to nail them down because these bags, you know, this material hits and it's just flying off the back of the board. There's no control on it. You're only going to throw fast side when you've got other bags on the board, or if you have a really high soft throw or really slow boards. It's faster than that Pro Sniper fast side, which you call a 9. That's why I think this is more like a 9.5. And really what I find is, and maybe faster is not the word for it. I don't know if it's faster, but what I found with this material is that it doesn't slow down as much. So when it hits the board, it tends to maintain its speed more longer up the board. It doesn't have as much friction. It doesn't slow down as much as that Pro Sniper fast side when it hits, it slides up. And that's why I think it plays a little faster. So if you're a player who has a hard time collecting, maybe you have that higher throw, that softer throw, you have a hard time pushing even fast side, that's where this material comes in, because it'll do a better job of pushing through and cleaning up. For me, it's not my favorite material because I tend to overthrow this material. I tend to throw, I like a bag where I can just flip it over, throw the same throw, and I can push and clean. I don't have to change throws. I find with this material, if I throw my normal throw, it's actually a little too hard, and sometimes the bags will hit, and I'll actually push them, I'll bar soap myself, I'll push them over the hole. Go too far past them. So if I go fast side, I'll go fast side with multiple bags. I tend to find myself with these types of bags trying to push more slow. Or if I go fast side, I gotta take a little off the bag, lean a little softer, so I don't go too hard with it. But it's a 9.5. So we're looking at about a 5 and 9.5 speed on this bag. Template. This is a medium template bag. It is this is a little bit on the thinner side. So Underworld has two different fills for this bag. They have what they call a roll fill and a heavy fill. This is the heavy fill in here, which means the fill is, it's not heavy because the bag is heavier. There's different weights of fills, and this uses a heavy fill, which means you can put less fill in it to get the desired weight of the bag, which means the bag becomes a little thinner. You get more flop. So this is definitely a floppy bag. It's on the floppy side. The roll fill, I am assuming, I haven't thrown the roll fill, but I'm assuming the roll fill is going to have more beads in it. When you add more beads or they have more volume, gives the bag a little bit thicker feel, a little puffier feel. You take some of the flop out, as well as the roll fill is going by nature. I'm assuming it's called roll fill because it's more active. You're going to get more bounce, more movement, easier for cuts, rolls, flops. This is more forgiving fill. So if you don't throw the flattest of bags, you're going to want more of the heavy fill in here. This is going to be more forgiving on the landing. It's not going to kick on you as much. It's going to do a better job of grabbing the hole, but it's going to be a little tougher to throw those cuts, rolls, flops. Not saying you can't do it. You can do it with this bag, just not as well, not as easy. So you got quite a bit of flop to this bag. It's still not a bad bag as far as the hand feel. When you grip it, I can grip it, lock it down. So typically a floppier bag, when you get those larger floppier bags and I grab them, they're still flopping and moving. It's hard to control. But this bag, even though it's got a lot of flop to it, when I grab it, I can really lock it down. I still have complete control of the bag, which is what I love. And I like the flop of the bag. It just does a great job. It makes the bag more forgiving, as I mentioned, around the hole and on leaning on the board. So if you don't throw the flattest of bags, because you have this flop and this bag with the heavy fill, which I didn't mention, the heavy fill it's got mostly that flat disc fill. There are some flat fills in here. I don't think there's any beads. So it's a mixture of flat fills, which gives the bag that forgiveness on landing. When you throw the bag, if you don't throw the flattest of bags, it's not going to kick as harsh and as hard as a bouncier fill would for you. So this is a great fill for a player who doesn't throw a flat bag. And the flop also aids in the forgiveness around the hole. So even if you miss the hole, because you've got enough flop, this corner dips in. When it goes up, it's going to grab, spin around, and pull the bag back in. So it does a great job of grabbing the hole for you and really makes up for your mistakes. So if you don't throw a flat bag and you're not the most accurate thrower, this heavy fill in this bag does a great job of forgiveness on the landing and grabbing the hole even if you miss a little bit left or right. So very forgiving bag all the way around. It's a fun bag to throw. It's really this version of the bag is a great bag if you're more in the style of running bags into the hole. And I'll get into that playability in a moment. One thing I want to mention is these are ACL stamped for 2024. So if you play ACL events, these have the comp stamp, and I can't stress it enough. I still get questions this day, no matter how much I say it. The comp stamp and the pro stamp, if you're not a pro player, it doesn't matter. So for 99.9% of you, maybe 100% of you, me included in this, comp stamps are the same as a pro stamp. There's no difference in quality. There's no difference in the requirements of the bag. They're still held at the same standards as the pro bags. The comp stamp, if you're not a pro player, you can throw at any ACL event from locals to opens. You can throw the comp stamp bag. We've seen the playability on these. And as I mentioned, this is a bag to me designed, this version of this bag is designed more for the running bags in the hole. You can throw, you've got control here with this herringbone carpet here. You can put a blocker up there, and you really have a ton of control putting blockers. You can put blockers where you want. And even though the bag, as I've mentioned, it's very forgiving. It doesn't have the movement and the bounce that roll fill would have to it. I still didn't have a problem if I needed to come across and grab a bag, a little bit of a cut, grab it and pull it back in. Now, if a bag was way over, you weren't making the harsh cuts this back. So really for me, if there's a blocker in the way, I'm not making that harsh cut around it, but I can step out, bully into it. And because the bag has that flop, I just get that corner to grab. It's going to spin and go in. So the bag does a great job of getting around. Again, as I mentioned, the fast side's plenty fast for pushing through multiple bags. You can push through all you want. Just be careful with it because, again, you can overthrow it, as I had some issues with when I first started throwing these bags. Anytime I throw this bag, I have to relearn this material and dial my fast side collects down a notch just so I don't overthrow them and skip over the hole. But you can definitely clean up messes with this bag. And really, the bigger the mess, the more I like this fast side material. So if I've got 3 or 4 bags of it, then I can flip it over and I can just push through, blow through the pile, and take whatever bags I can get to go in there. The bags do not really bunch or clog up in the hole because of the flop. They do a great job of folding up and dropping in. So I had no issues with these bags bunching up or clogging up. The bags did a great job for collectability on them. Like I said, they're even though these are thinner and they have flop, the collectability was really good at grabbing the corners and taking them in. I didn't have an issue with them bunching up, accordioning up, and spinning around like sometimes those larger template floppier bags would do. So these did a great job collecting. Actually, I had the control to throw blockers with them. The downside would be on this with the flat or the heavy fill is the shot shaping. Not the best of shot shaping, but again, Underworld makes that roll fill bag. If you want to throw a shot shaping, go get that roll fill bag. If you want to play more of a hole for hole style game, go get this heavy fill bag. Now, as far as comparisons, this bag reminds me so much of the BG Sorcerer. It's same exact materials, very similar in the flop to it. I think the fill is ever so slightly different, maybe if I remember correctly, but it's right in line with this BG Sorcerer. So if you've thrown the Sorcerers, that's what you're getting here with this heavy fill of this version. If you get the roll fill, to me, the roll fill would be more like a Sorcerer bag with a little bit of that wizard fill add to it. I've been really impressed with Underworld Cornhole's bags. I reviewed the clone not long ago. This is the truth. I really like their bags, and the best part of them is the price, and on which will leave me in availability. Underworld's website, underworldcornhole.com. I'll put a link in the description as always for you guys. These bags are $55 for a set plus $10 shipping. $65 shipped to you is a phenomenal price for an ACL stand bag. There aren't many bag companies or many bags out there that are available for that price. And this is, these are just as good a quality as those bags that are twice as expensive. So you could buy 2 sets of bags from Underworld for the same price you can buy 1 set from the other companies. Same quality, if not better than those bags. Same playability, if not better. So if you've been thinking about trying out, one of these bags that has this fast side material, maybe you're not familiar with it, maybe you're not sure about the herringbone carpet, you haven't tried that yet, go grab some of these truths. Yeah, for $65, it's worth the risk, it's worth the gamble. I got a feeling you're going to like them. I love these bags. I can't recommend them enough. I was a huge fan of the clones. Again, I've been a fan of these truths here. So definitely check them out. If you've thrown them, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Always love hearing you guys' opinions on these bags. I thank you so much for the support, and I thank you for watching.